NBA playoffs. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham, and this is the first step of a long drive to the finals. Boston's front line outscoring the Knicks 23-6, and of course the NBA Finals you'll see exclusively on CBS. And Larry Bird with 13 points. The leading scorer for the Knicks was Mark Jackson with 7. Both teams were under 50% shooting in the first period. Celtics at 46 and the Knicks at 42.
Now, I love what Rick Pitino is doing. He's come into this game, and I think that's the beauty of the NBA playoffs, where from game to game you can make those adjustments. But he's come out here to win this ball game, and he's just pulling out all the plugs on this ball game.
Dennis Johnson and Jim Paxson in there. Paxson had a glorious first game. Tremendous acquisition from Portland late in the year. Bird against Wilkins. Big problem for the Celtics. Other than Kenny Walker, who can guard Larry Bird at all?
Well, you just hope Larry Bird has a bad game or you double team him. I just don't know what you do. They've tried to keep the ball out of his hands, and he's still been able to get it and create some things either for himself or his teammates.
Cartwright, Bird the rebound. Bird, by the way, has hit 5 of 8 shots. 6-point lead. And on the turnover, Jackson. Jackson on the runner. Missed inside, had no chance, but the Celtics have taken Patrick Ewing totally out of the Knicks offense.
And they've done it because they're double teaming. As soon as he touches the ball, they go back and double team him. In the last game, they would only double team him when he put the ball on the floor, and they've made that adjustment for themselves for this game. But the thing Mark Jackson has got to do is when he penetrates, find the open man.
Dennis Johnson with a turnaround over Jackson has 6 points. Don't forget, this is the first of a doubleheader. Most of you will see the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan against Cleveland in Game 2. Some of you will catch the Denver-Seattle matchup. Both are good games.
There's the double team.
Cartwright will throw it away, and a backcourt violation. So Celtic double teaming has done the job against the Knicks big men so far.
And that's the key to that's been the turnaround, I think, of this Celtic ball club over this last month. Their defensive intensity and the way they're working together as a team.
There's an example. McHale is fouled. They will go, but here's McHale, and it takes a lot to keep these guys out.
Now with this new backcourt lineup for the Celtics, we'll see more defensive pressure. They'll probably pick up full court after every score.
Jackson trying to post up Minifield right there. Wilkins, top of the key. Bird, the long rebound.
And that, excuse me, Dick, that's the game plan of the Celtics. Force the perimeter shot, and they don't believe the Knicks have the ability to beat them with the jump shot.
Mark Akers and the feed from Bird. So Mark Akers now playing the backup center position, not Artis Gilmore, who did in game number 1, the veteran. And most of the year it was Mark Akers, the 27-year-old rookie who played in Belgium. Now back to his old spot, and he's guarding Ewing.
And the Knicks have to get Ewing in the offense.
Boston pressure by the Knicks, who are trailing by 10. Interesting to see how the Celtic backups, now they want a 20-second timeout, will handle this kind of pressure. Overran the ball, caught up with it. But you were right, Minifield was the man to break it up.
That was a good call by Casey Jones, though, in that 20-second timeout with that defensive pressure by the Knicks.
Cedric Toney all over Minifield, the 2 number 11s battling. A double team on McHale, stripped away. Ewing on the steal. 9 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-point lead for the Celtics. Wilkins into Ewing. Over McHale. Rebound, Mark Akers.
Patrick Ewing only has 2 points so far in this ball game. That time he rushed his offense.
Starting front court has only 6 points in the game for the Knicks. Paxson is held by Wilkins, and Gerald with his 2nd personal.
Now this group on the court right now for the Celtics is the key for them playing as well as they have. The starters feel that these people have just come along, have given an added confidence to the starters where they can really extend themselves out on the court.
Ewing with another steal. He's played well defensively, and traveling called against Cedric Toney. So the Knicks are making the kind of mistakes you would expect a team in the playoffs for the first time are making. We're at Boston Garden, the 363rd consecutive sellout. Round one, best of 5, and the Celtics with a 1-0 lead bring Bird back. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham, and the Celtics have controlled so far. Dennis Johnson also checks back in. Turnovers, by the way, just about even. In fact, Boston has committed more. Jim Paxson, foul, hits the basket. What has he meant to this team?
Well, we saw that in game 1 where Danny Ainge was struggling. He comes off the bench and helps ignite this Celtic ball club, and they go on for an easy win.
Tony committing the foul. Paxson, Casey Jones said that he's a starter who's coming off the bench. Moves without the ball as well as you can expect. And he replaces Jerry Seasting, who went to Portland, but gives them good size. That helps.
And has the ability to play with either Ainge in the backcourt or Dennis Johnson. A lot of flexibility for Casey Jones.
Celtics have their biggest lead of the ball game, but they're guilty of their third team foul with 8:10 remaining. Ewing, as you mentioned, only 2 points thus far. Parrish checks back in, replacing Mark Akers. The foul was on Akers. So the Celtics starters are intact, save for Paxson for Ainge. Jackson and Parrish knocked it away. Jackson tried to pass it in the middle. Bird, Paxson, Parrish. It looks like Paxson's been with this team for 10 years the way he's playing. Timeout.
Smooth Touch makes it count. Sponsored by Schick. Sam Jones thrilled Celtic fans to 10 NBA titles. Yet he did it with a low-key approach. He shunned notoriety and unselfishly accepted his role as a scorer. His trademarks were a floating drive to the basket and a feathery outside touch. Smooth moves that sent Sam Jones right to the Hall of Fame.
Too close for a coach, especially in the playoffs.
Knicks have Tucker and Jackson at guard, and Wilkins, 3 guards along with Green and Ewing. Ewing over Parrish, and Patrick with only his 4th point of the ball game.
That's a good play coming out of the timeout to get your big man involved with the offense. Here's the trap again.
Dennis Johnson sees an opening. Foul going to the hoop. This is his time of year, isn't it, Dennis Johnson? He has that chronic right shoulder. All of a sudden, he looks like he's 22 years old going to the hoop there.
You know, and when you put that...
Gilmore observing things, and the Celtics have been in control. Their biggest lead was 15 points. That's what they've got now, 43-28. Celtics have just taken away the inside game totally from New York's arsenal. Ewing hits his 2nd in a row, so he gets cooking now. Here's the trap. Paxson. Parrish. McHale. And a foul. Parrish had to contend with Mark Jackson.
The middle was number 2, Robert Parrish.
15-point lead again.
You know, watching Dennis Johnson defensively, once in a while he'll put some full court pressure on Mark Jackson, then he'll back off, and there he is scrambling for the loose ball.
And now it's Boston ball that was last touched by Ewing. He got a low pass and had trouble with it.
Well, Patrick Ewing does not have good hands when the ball is below his waist. You want to get him the ball up in the air, and most 7-footers have the same problem.
Working against Trent Tucker. Great pass to Paxson. McHale crashes the boards against Ewing, and now the Knicks come back. Gerald Wilkins. Parrish clears. Bird. And a Knick foul. They've been in the penalty, and the Celtics will shoot. And right now, you have to say that the Celtics are dictating this game to the New York Knicks in every phase.
Every
The best of 5. Boston trying to hold serve and win their second at home. Tucker from 3. And Cartwright follows up with the basket. Bill Cartwright with his first points. But the Knicks, too few points right now, only 7 in this period. McHale works in against Ewing, but traveled before, and on the turnover, it'll be the Knicks with a chance, trailing by 15, to try to make a dent before this first half is over. 5:27 remain.
And they'll look to go inside to either Cartwright or Ewing, and if there's the double team, the guards have to hit that perimeter jump shot.
Paxson gambled on Wilkins. McHale got a piece of it, and a great defensive play. Might have been Bird out of the pack. Dennis Johnson feeds Bird.
Hey, the Celtics aren't supposed to be able to run.
Bird is at 6 out of 9 and 17 points in the game. And a 17-point lead as they open up their biggest margin in this first half. Double team on Cartwright. Tucker misses, gets the rebound, and a foul. The Knicks are not a good outside shooting team on top of everything else, and they're going to be open.
Here's the good defense by McHale, getting a hand on that ball. And now look at the active hands of Larry Bird after that, and he gets out and fills the lane. Watch Dennis Johnson find him on the right.
They're a smart team all the way around.
Well, they've played together as a unit for so many years. They better be smart.
Cartwright will go to the line.
Last year revamped their whole bench except for Michael Cooper.
Celtics have gone to the line twice as many times as the Knicks. Bird, great pass into McHale on a Knick foul. Wilkins foul.
There's Bird curling around that screen set by McHale, and he's rewarding McHale for the good screen, the bounce pass.
3 on. Battle the Celtics deep into the third period. Jackson with a fake and a drive. Cartwright couldn't control.
Again, he missed Bill Cartwright, who was wide open for an easy basket.
Double on Dennis Johnson. Ainge for 3. Well, the Celtics were 0 for 1, a season's low in three-point shots in game number 1. But Danny Ainge hits a 3 there, and the Celts have opened up their biggest lead of the game. Wilkins. Oh, Ewing has it knocked away by Bird. Cartwright. But it's been a Boston show all the way here. 3:23 remaining in the first half. Leading scorers for the Celtics. McHale 9 and Johnson's 8 backs up Bird 17. And the leading scorer for the Knicks is Jackson with 7.
And that was all in the first period.
Parrish and Ewing came in and knocked that away. Ainge. Here come the Celtics. Knicks, Jackson. Wilkins. Gerald Wilkins.
Now that was outstanding by Mark Jackson. He penetrated, created a situation for Gerald Wilkins for the easy 2.
He now leads the Knicks with 8 after missing his first 4 shots here in this period. 17-point lead. 2:35 to go. Ainge hit a 3 before. Not that time. A foul inside. Basket's going to count. Then the push. That's what great hustle, going after the loose ball, will do for you. You'll get bonuses like this.
And a little luck doesn't hurt. Now he just swats at the basketball and knocks it in.
Parrish got the basket, and there's a foul. Timeout. He's handled his team, and I just think he's our guy.
I agree.
But you're right, it'll be the last time. Parrish has 11 points, and it's a 55-37 game as we get close to the 2-minute mark. And a foul away from the ball against the Celtics. Both teams are in the penalty. Artis Gilmore makes his first appearance of this game. As Parrish goes out, Parrish has 7 rebounds and 11 points in the game.
Bill Cartwright has 2 shots.
Now, Rick Pitino would be happy with this team. If he can go off the court down, say, 12, 14 points, he might have achieved what he set out to do in this ball game, create a quick tempo, maybe tire out this Celtic team for the second half.
Parrish, by the way, has 9 points and not 11. They took that basket away before. He made the free throw, but he did not get credit for that basket that everyone was cheering about right before the timeout. 55-39. Bird gets 3 from Quinn Tucker.
Well, Quinn Tucker has an impossible job trying to match up with Larry Bird, giving up several inches and not having played anyone in the low post defensively before. He just can't do anything with him.
19 for Bird. Tucker fires away for 3, and he's got it. That is his second 3-point basket of the game. And a 15-point lead. The biggest lead was 20 by the Celtics. Don't forget, second game of the doubleheader after this one will be Chicago and Cleveland at Chicago Stadium with Michael Jordan trying to give the Bulls a 2-0 lead. I have a hunch the Cavs are going to come back strong. It'll be a tremendous game. Dennis Johnson, and some of you will see Seattle and Denver.
Dennis Johnson's playing with such confidence, both offensively and defensively. Earlier in the year, he would have taken that ball to the basket and wouldn't have settled for that open jump shot.
Hartland, left-handed. Knicks showing a little more spunk here toward the end of this first half. They're way down. But remember, the Philadelphia 76ers trailed by 30 here at Boston Garden during a game here and came back and won.
And Rick Pitino won't let this team quit.
One thing the Celtics know about the Knicks. They keep coming back.
Hey, middle of the year, no one expected them to be in the playoffs. They were a lock for the lottery.
Ewing hits, and it's a 13-point game with 40 seconds to go. The Knicks were 14 and 28 at one point, and no one thought they were going to make it other than maybe Pitino.
Don't forget, Rick Pitino won't be unhappy if he's down 12-14 at half.
Dennis Johnson fouled
by the Knicks, and he'll match up against Tucker and try and shut him down.
Celtics will get the ball back. Leading by 15. Carlisle guarded by Ainge. Ewing with a pass to Tucker, who's fouled by Minifield, and Tucker will go to the line. 2-0 against Seattle. Wilkins commits a foul against Dennis Johnson. Lead the Knicks with 12 seconds to try to cut it to 13 before intermission.
And they want to get the last shot of this half.
Bird won't let Tucker get it off. Wild shot by Tucker with Bird on him, and that'll end the period. Not the best shot. Well, the Knicks cut into the Celtic lead somewhat, but it's still Boston. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Celtics 63, the Knicks 48. Pat O'Brien will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message.
Afternoon, Karl Malone stood out at both ends for the Jazz. 37 points, 16 rebounds. The Jazz tied the series at 1, and now they're going home.
I think our main things coming in was to win one ball game, and it doesn't matter how we do it. It didn't matter if it was by 1 point or whatever. We did it, and home sweet home. And like I say, we're going to try to end it there.
In Pontiac, Isaiah Thomas celebrated his 27th birthday with 30 points. He was hitting from everywhere last night. And it wouldn't be a Piston game without a confrontation. They are, after all, the bad boys of basketball. Watch. Rick Mahorn fires the ball at Darrell Walker. Rick gets a technical for that pass. Isaiah, however, had the last word as he hit a drive with 9 seconds remaining to give Detroit a 2-0 series lead.
The Lord gave me the best birthday present he could ever give me the night when he made that basketball go in the hole.
Later today, some of you will see Game 2 of Seattle and Denver. Game 1 came down to the final 22 seconds. But most of you will get a ride with Air Jordan. And for more on that story, let's go out to the Madhouse on Madison, Chicago Stadium. And you never know where you're going to find Brent and Tommy.
Well, welcome, Pat O'Brien, to the officials' locker room. But Tommy Heinsohn, you used to come in here as a visiting coach for the Celtics.
Well, this was our locker room. This is the one we were assigned. And I would tell you, it's just a little bit bigger than your walk-in closet down in Connecticut. But what really happens here is that you used to get assigned a hook, not a locker, a hook. And I'm glad the officials are getting a hook now.
Home court advantage. Tommy, what about the noise level here? How does it compare with other arenas?
Well, they didn't have a spectacular player like Michael Jordan in my days coaching, but now with him here and all the great and spectacular things he does, he brings that crowd to its feet, and they are really, really raucous.
So he looks for a couple of dunks to get the crowd into it?
Absolutely, and it's a great thing, and it's very difficult for an inexperienced team to come in here and weather that storm.
All right. So it is game 2 of the best-of-5 series. The Cavaliers having lost game 1. And then, of course, Tommy, they'll go back to Cleveland for game 3. So this is critical this afternoon for Cleveland.
I think Cleveland had got their feet wet in game 1, and I'm really expecting a tough game from them this afternoon.
All right, let's go back to Pat in New York.
All right, Brent, glad to see you guys are getting your exercise. When we come back here, a visit with the NBA's Iron Man, Coach Doug Moe, who is on a roll, as At the Half rolls on from New York City after a commercial and a word from your local station.
Schmoozing around at the gin rummy table, setting a pick on his ever-expanding waistline, or fast-breaking to some serious business at the dog track. Doug Moe never lets his real job interfere with the important things in life.
Excuse my nonchalance, but I've just been retracing the steps of basketball's hottest coach, who also happens to be the league's most laid-back character. A guy whose what me worry attitude is absolutely infectious. On the other hand, though he tries to convince everybody that he's the third partner of Larry and Curly, Doug Moe is not just a stooge of a basketball coach.
I mean, not too much bothers me. I like to have a good time. I don't take anything serious, except when you get to the game, I get emotionally involved, and I basically lose it.
You just swing it right away when you get in the corner. We got to work now, gang.
Work? Doug Moe likes to pretend he doesn't know the meaning of the word. But his surprising Denver Nuggets had the NBA's third best record, and they were the first team to whip the Lakers and Celtics head-to-head in a season series this decade. All this while treating his players like the hounds he bets on.
Come on, fellas!
Hold it. Don't give me no about the rest. Let me tell you something. All you did was pick Mike off. You stood there. You didn't even get out.
A lot of people want bench tickets. It's just like going to see Michael Jackson. I want to hear Doug Moe.
He tells me I'm a stiff and a no-hoper, and my kids are no-hoper. I tell him he's fat, can't coach, and all this talk about him being coach of the year is an absolute joke.
Coach Frank McGuire inspired Moe's laissez-faire style at North Carolina, and Moe carried it to his happy days in the wide-open ABA. The theory is no secret. Hang loose and let the players play.
In our system, you get a lot of freedom. So if you have ability, you get to do whatever you want. You know, it's within certain, you know, they can't throw it from half court, but a few steps inside, do what the heck you want.
Moe's irreverence is legendary. Does he shrink in terror at the sight of the Celtics and Lakers?
Shot, it is there! The Nuggets win it! Look at the buzzer! Look at Doug Moe!
Certainly we beat those turkeys. You kidding me? They don't belong in the same court as we do.
Does he understand the awesome significance of X's and O's?
We had 7 plays, and gradually we filtered them down. We now have 2. One I can never remember, and we got to keep diagramming up.
If Moe continues worrying like this, and of course winning, he will become as popular in Denver as this golfer next to him.
I mean, me being a coach is fitted for me. If I had to get a job, I'd be in trouble. So I'm basically the perfect coach because I can't do anything else.
This is Curry Kirkpatrick for CBS Sports.
And Doug is working today, and he's packing both of those plays. Now, when you think of great matchups, you think of Russell and Chamberlain, Ali Frazier, Oprah and Phil, Sean Penn and Madonna, Sean Penn and anybody. And now let's add to that list Jordan versus Bird.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Well, you could argue who's better forever, so coming to a computer near you, the Bird-Jordan matchup that always looks good on paper.
Michael's slamming and dunking on me all the time, which is pretty embarrassing, but I still got my three-pointer.
But some creative programmer gave Michael a double 360 and a jam.
75.
And while planning the game, Michael learned something new about Larry.
Larry said like 70, 68 or 70.
You don't like this side?
He said he didn't.
Good.
Yeah. Look, you're learning.
It's like a scouting report right here.
But wait a minute, can this be right? Jordan missing a slam?
You mind us making you fall down on screen?
On a bad dunk?
Oh, yeah, he's controlling, yeah. I mean, if it was me, I would miss.
Right. They are getting ready to punch up the second half in Boston. Dick and Billy are right around the corner. I'm Pat O'Brien in New York City. Thank you for joining us on the Prudential at the half. Enjoy the second half here on CBS.
Jim Johnson, Bird, McHale, and Parrish for Boston. And the Knicks, the same 5 for them. An illegal defense called against the New York Knicks, and that's a technical foul. That's the second.
Walker or Johnny Newman, so we're going to just gamble that Tucker does an adequate job.
Rebound by Ewing on Bird's miss. Knicks' biggest need is a forward who can score. They're going to be looking for that either through free agency, trades, or draft. Former 2 may be the key. Cartwright doubled. Wilkins runs into a screen. Gerald Wilkins, who was cold from the field, now has 10 points. He made only 1 of 5 in the second period.
But he's a streaky shooter. When he gets it going, he gets in one of those zones and he can hit anything.
14-point lead. Bird looking to pass. In the air, made up his mind there. Ainge all day for a 3. Loose ball. McHale. Bird for 3. And this time Jackson cleared. Wilkins. Now Ewing against Parrish. Blocked by Parrish. Good defense inside by the veteran center. Ainge to Bird. Short jumper. Ainge could have taken that shot. It was a 9-footer, but he got it to Larry Bird.
Well, it's the way they've been playing the last month, so unselfishly. And it all stems from their defense because they're working so well as a unit, it carries right over to the offensive end.
Bird with 22 points. Wilkins has hit 2 in a row here in this third period. A little more than 2 minutes gone by.
Now, I would doubt we'd see the Knicks going to any traps after they score because of that big lineup they have in there with Cartwright and Ewing.
Knicks are comfortable playing the pressing defenses, but that's a good move. And they will call
end of the court. The ball has been knocked out of his hands, and he felt he was fouled on both occasions.
Knocked away by Ewing into the hands of Jackson. 2-on-1 with Wilkins. And Wilkins is fouled by Ainge. And will go to the line to shoot. And that was a good foul by
to their big people.
That's 2 straight games. They did not come out strong in the third. Normally that's been a trademark for them.
A veteran team, it's a problem always when you're coaching a veteran team, trying to make sure that they're constantly motivated because they've lost a little interest.
Jackson knocked it away from McHale. Ainge from the corner for 3. Danny Ainge wants to make sure he has 8 points. Johnson gets a hand on that pass by Wilkins. Ainge. McHale. 20-second timeout called by the Knicks. Don Gaston, Alan Cohen, and Red Auerbach, who remain seated. Have to like what they see right here, but
2 other teams on the home court losing those ball games, and that his team is ready to go out and play Seattle, who really gave them, might have blown that ball game in that latter part of the game.
Ewing from Cartwright. And it's 71-56, and I'm sure the Lakers would like to sharpen it up some more. They weren't razor sharp in their opening win against the Spurs. 15-point lead. Bird. There's Wilkins. He'll take this himself. Gerald Wilkins with 16 points. He leads the Knicks scorers as he did in game number 1 when he scored 24. Now they're down to 13 again and plenty of time remaining. Only 4 minutes elapsed here in the third period. McHale blocked by Ewing, gets another chance, blocked again, and they call the foul on Ewing. And that'll be his third. What a great play against the man who normally doesn't have a shot block.
Now watch this. You're exactly right, Dick, that Kevin McHale very rarely gets that block. And right there, blocked again. It looked like a good block to me.
Second team foul on New York. And here's McHale shooting 2.
anytime someone fakes. And that time he stayed down, let McHale commit himself both times and was able to block it.
14 for McHale, and that's the lead for the Celtics. 14 points. Wilkins cuts it to 12 at 72-60 with 7:41 to go. Keep in mind, the Celtics had a 20-point lead at one time, and Casey Jones, aware of that, calls a timeout. So this crowd has quieted down, and the Knicks are on.
And I think the one thing he's shown is a great deal of patience in building this ball club.
The Knicks are only 3 for 9 from the Celtics, I should say. Celtics 3 for 9 in this third period. Knicks 5 for 6. 4 of those from Gerald Wilkins, who hasn't missed yet in the period. Parrish from 8. So the timeout worked for the Celtics, who are up again by 14. For the Celtics in double figures, led by Bird's 22. Rebound by Parrish. Wilkins. On Bird. Double team on McHale. Johnson left open and hit. That's what a lot of teams did the second half of the year. They double teamed the Celtic big men, leaving guys like Dennis Johnson open, and in the late in the season he was hitting them.
Now, big factor is we see the Celtics, it's after the timeout, it's just like they can turn it on and turn it off whenever they feel like it against the Knickerbockers.
Ewing out to Jackson. Wilkins just inside the three-point line, and he is 5 for 6. 5 for 5 in this period. Casey Jones always concerned with Celtic turnovers and the offensive rebounding by the other club.
The jump shot, that's what they'll live with the Knickerbockers. They wanted to force the jump shot.
Bird with 24. Behind him is Johnson with 16. McHale 14. Parrish with 11. The Knick leader is Wilkins with 20 points. And an offensive foul called against New York.
Trent Tucker is going to try and come over the top on this screen set by McHale. And speaking to Larry Bird, he said, no one can stop me going over the top of the screen. They must trail me to have any type of chance.
Wilkins committed his 4th foul and goes out, and Johnny Newman comes in for the Knicks. Newman has 3 points and 3 fouls, and still not close to showing the form that you mentioned. He hit 11 out of 11 against the Celtics in a game this year. Harris throws it away. And now they change it. Ed Rush said it was last touched by the Knicks. And Hugh Holland says, we'll jump it up. So first Holland said Knicks ball. Rush signals Celtics ball. Holland said jump ball.
And now they're flipping a coin. And the Celtics won the flip.
I didn't see any coin, but whatever they did, Billy. 16-point lead for Boston. Trying to make it 2-0. Bird. 26 for Larry Bird. Scored 29 in the first game on 9 for 20 shooting. Is shooting far better in this one. And Cartwright, who was not traded. Everyone expected Cartwright to be dealt to somebody, and Pitino said the turning point in the year for the Knicks came at the trading deadline, when Cartwright and Wilkins could relax when they remained with the Knicks. Celtic turnover gives it back to the Knicks with 5:05 remaining in the third period, and a chance once again in New York to cut it to 12. Jackson, top of the key. Ewing. Now Newman. And Johnny Newman hits, and it's a 12-point affair again.
And they're going to need Johnny Newman to fill in where Wilkins left off, hitting 5 for 5 in this period.
Wilkins has 20, Ewing 10, and Cartwright 11, the only double-figure scorers for New York. 4.5 to go in the third. Parrish from Dennis Johnson. And Cartwright called for the loose ball foul.
Again, we see that good ball movement of the Celtics, making the extra pass when there's the double team. They move it, find the open man. They found Robert Parrish. He missed it, but they were able to pick up the foul against Cartwright.
Dennis Johnson goes out of the ball game. Johnson Johnson has scored 16 points. He also has 5 rebounds. A fine all-around game. Jim Paxson replaces him. McHale got free inside. With McHale, Parrish, and Bird up front, you've got Ewing, Walker, and Cartwright to match up.
Now what's happening offensively, the Knicks are playing better, but the Celtics are at the same time.
Ewing off the front rim, and with under 4 minutes to go, Celtics trying to stretch their lead. The Knicks have cut it to 12. Now it's 16. Isolate Mark Jackson against Bird one-on-one. Foul.
Now what's happening is there's too many times now that Larry Bird is getting isolated against a guard, and he's taking him to the low post, and the guard isn't getting any help defensively. The Knicks are going to have to come double team. They're going to have to look to go to their trapping defense. Even though the Celtics did hurt him for a while there in the first half, they're going to have to do something to disrupt the set offense of the Celtics.
Mark Jackson with 3 personal fouls. Newman and Wilkins have 4. None of the Celtics have 4. And Bird now with 28 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. The lead is 17. Now quickly it can go from 20 to 12, and now up to the 17 mark. 18-point lead. Check it.
Again, the defense of the Celtics.
4 on the shot clock. Kenny Walker falls away. McHale can't control it out of bounds. It's still New York's ball. But this is the kind of extended defense that the Celtics used when they blew out the Knicks in the final period Friday.
And they seem to be enjoying it out there. They're just reacting to each other so beautifully. If someone's beat, there's someone else coming over to give them a little help.
Paxson tries for the steal, and he stepped on the line, very nearly made it. .3:14 on the clock. Game 3 will be Wednesday night in New York. The Celtics would like to win as quickly as possible, as all teams do, so they can get maximum rest before the best-of-7 conference semis. Parrish knocks it out of Cartwright's hand. The Knicks were not moving without the ball. That's why Cartwright was standing like a statue.
Standing and watching it. Another point, as you mentioned, to end this series, they're the oldest starting team there is in the NBA, and they realize that rest is more valuable to them than any team in the league.
Ainge the only starter under age 30. Cartwright lost it. Paxson might have knocked it out of his hand. With under 3 minutes to go, Parrish, a couple of fakes on Cartwright. Green outlets to Tucker. Kenny Walker. Jackson with the rebound, foul, and quick release by Jackson. Bird. Somebody grabbed that new mesh jersey of Larry Bird's. The Celtics wearing mesh jerseys now. Akers, who's in there with McHale and Bird up front. Paxson and Ainge at guard. 8 on the shot clock. And Bird and Kenny Walker were going at it away from the ball, and it's Kenny Walker with his 3rd foul.
You just can't pick up those cheap fouls when you're in the penalty like this. You know, Kenny Walker's got
it to 12. 2:15 to go in this 3rd period.
Someone's got to spark this Knicks team and get some life in it. Right now, their faces are down. You know, they're not feeling too good about themselves. They need someone to hit a hoop, make a steal, get out and run in the open court. Otherwise, they're in for a long afternoon.
Foul was on Mark Akers, his 3rd, and the 3rd team foul against the Celtics. Coming down to 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. Tucker looking inside. Celtics inside defense has been exemplary so far in these first 2 games. Kenny Walker. Rebound. Bird is tied up with Sidney Green, and they'll jump it up. Bird was the leading rebounder for the Celtics in the regular season.
And there's Bird getting in there. Oh, it looked like he had a little bit of his arm as well as the basketball.
Ewing getting a breather right now. He has scored 10 points. Mark Jackson. Baseline meets Bird. Loses the ball to Akers. Here's Ainge. Fouled by Tucker. And he'll shoot 2. Ainge appears to be all right.
As well when the playoffs start. Well, it's just the opposite so far for the Celtics. They've been able to get out and run more than they did the entire regular season.
This is a rested club, you can be sure. 21-point lead. The biggest lead now of the game for the Celtics. Tucker for 3 hits his third 3-point bomb of the ball game for Trent Tucker, who was one of those few who played against the Celtics in the '84 series. Cartwright and Louis Orr were the others.
Well, Trent Tucker has the highest 3-point field goal percentage of any active player, shooting almost 43% from the 3-point area.
18-point lead. Bird answers that with 3 of his own. 33 points for number 33, and it's a 91-70 game. Under a minute to play in this third period. So the Celtics answered the Knicks' charge with one of their own and an offensive foul against Bill Cartwright. Patino can only shake his head.
Now this Knicks team have said, the players have said, if they look for one player for mental toughness, it's Mark Jackson. So he better do something to ignite his ball club in this last, well, 35 seconds and in the fourth period.
Ainge will play up on Tucker. The Knicks took away Tucker's 3-point shot totally in game 1. He's hit some here. Kenny Walker in the lane. 91-72.
Right here, Bill. Billy, right here, Bill.
Nick pressure.
Come on, Frank. Come on. Trent, will you wake up?
Wasn't executed well defensively by New York.
It sure wasn't. And now there's a mismatch. Kenny Walker's out on Danny Ainge. And Trent Tucker now has switched to Larry Bird.
He loves that. Ball knocked away. It's still Celtics ball with 5 seconds to try a shot. And 5 seconds remaining in the period. So Bird, who has 33 points, has the luxury today of playing most of the game, I think, against guards, defending him. Wilkins and Tucker. Bird at the buzzer. And with a 91-72 lead, looking to take a 2-0 lead in their best-of-5 first-round series against the New York Knicks, who were the last qualifiers in the Eastern Conference. They beat Indiana on the road on their last game to make it. Fred Roberts has come in. Larry Bird getting a rest. He has scored 33 as Ewing is fouled inside. The Knicks have Johnny Newman, Trent Tucker, Gerald Wilkins along, but basically he has not been an offensive force thanks to the Boston defense.
Black.
10 on the shot clock. Ewing will be guarding McHale here. 5 on the clock. Ainge pulls up for 3. Akers gets the offensive rebound and scores. That's a killer for the Knicks because they don't have Parrish or Bird in there, and Akers off the bench gets 2.
You know, it's interesting watching the Celtics. They're a team during the regular season. You said, number 1, they don't run well. Number 2, they're not a good offensive rebounding team, and they've done both very well the first 2 games of this playoff series.
Ewing working in, walks into a triple team, and Tucker misses a 3. Johnny Newman fights in. Ewing keeps it going for New York. Wilkins misses. And a foul against the Knicks. Sometimes statistics can be misleading. The Celtics, you're right, had the fewest offensive rebounds in the league, but I think the timing of some of these things is really what counts.
The timing, and the one thing that Casey Jones was talked about so much yesterday was that he didn't want his players, when a shot went up, just standing there. Either make the commitment to get back defensively or get to the offensive boards, and they've done that beautifully for him today.
Paxson back to McHale. Akers. Sidney Green, 10:35 remaining in the fourth period. 19-point lead. Biggest lead for the Celtics was 21 toward the end of the third. Good defense continually. There's the shooting this half. Boston started out brilliantly in the third, but they're under 50.
One thing Patrick Ewing has to have learned in this second half is to protect the basketball.
Newman inside with the basket.
Because the Celtics have been able to reach in and deflect the ball almost every time he's tried to make a move to the basket.
Paxson with a runner. Jim Paxson. Again, it's 19. Akers is guarding Ewing. And Ewing with 14 in the game.
Well, that just shows you what Patrick Ewing can do when they don't double team him and they just leave him man-to-man defense.
And a timeout called, but before that, a New York foul. 9:51 remaining in the fourth period. He has 20 points. Larry Bird back in. 9:43 remaining in the fourth period. 95-78, Boston in front. Paxson and McHale playing a two-man game. McHale has it blocked by Kenny Walker. Knicks 3-on-3 as Akers gets back. Tucker open. Trent Tucker now has 14 points off the bench, including 4 3-pointers.
Well, that's a good sequence and something I'm sure Rick Pitino wished he saw a little bit more of a little earlier in this ball game.
Akers tries to save it into the hands of Newman. That's 3 3-pointers for Tucker. Newman fouled by Bird going to the point lead. Again, the Knicks cut it down with 9 minutes remaining. Paxson wide open on the right side. Big basket. He has adjusted to this club tremendously.
But we see why Casey Jones wants to get the ball into the middle to Dennis Johnson, because he just made that play. They treat that, when the trap is on, like a fast breaking opportunity, and they capitalize on it.
Johnson picks up Tucker in a hurry, aware of his 3 3-pointers. Wilkins misses a 3 and Parrish the rebound. That was a gamble shot for the Knicks right there.
Yeah, you want to be aggressive defensively and have the good patience, even though they're down. They're only down, what, 15 points at this point.
Bird hits. So Wilkins missed the 3. Bird hits a 2. And instead of 13.
The All You Can Be, sponsored by the U.S. Army. The future of the New York Knicks is being built by the winning ways of Mark Jackson and Patrick Ewing. Jackson can dissect a defense with slicing drives and timely passes. On the receiving end is Ewing, who fills the lane with thunderous power slams. Playing with poise and savvy beyond their years, teamwork is making Jackson and Ewing the best they can be.
For Coach of the Year.
I'm sure I won't get a phone call from him. He's too cheap.
Ewing has a good pass from Jackson over Ewing, so you wonder about Mark Jackson. He's in there now, and the Knicks on the pressure again, trailing by 15 points. They got nothing to lose at this point.
Nothing to lose. Go out and scramble. Go trap them. Force maybe a perimeter shot or a turnover.
McHale tipped up by Parrish. Celtics have really done tremendous damage with second shots against the Knicks today.
They're taking nothing for granted.
Jackson on a good pass from Ewing. Kenny Walker scores. That was a strange play because the pass from Ewing was deflected.
Well, that's the way he played it. He's a great pool shooter.
He knows the angle.
Yeah.
Jackson fouls Jim Paxson, who will not shoot this one. That is the third team foul against the Knicks, and for Mark Jackson, his 4th personal foul.
You know, the Knicks have had little spurts, you know, and you get the feeling they're going to get right back in this ball game, and then it's a turnover, or it's Larry Bird hitting a jump shot, or Dennis Johnson creating a turnover, and boom, it's back up to 15, 17 points.
It's like a tease for the Knicks. They get close, and they say, now you see it, now you don't. The Celtics say, we're going to put you away again. Here's Paxson. Fouled. He squandered and lost in double overtime, but that was early in the year when they really were in the doldrums. Walker to Ewing. Ewing now with 18 points. He has scored 8 here in this 4th period.
It's really something to see how he's come on as an offensive player in the NBA. You know, over the last 23 games, he's shooting over 50% for every game from the field.
Paxson. McHale has it knocked away, and now the Knicks try to cut it to 13 again. 12 has been their magic number, and Jackson throws it away. Try to go for Wilkins, and on the turnover, the Celtics come right back. McHale draws the foul. Best the Knicks have been able to do is just slightly knock on the door today.
Good ball movement by the Knickerbockers.
Oh! Tucker misses the baseline shot. McHale is fouled. This series will continue Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden, and the New York fans, who are so happy to see the Knicks in postseason for the first time, will be in full force for game number 3, you can be sure.
And it's going to be very important to this. You know, they're going to have to play #1 better basketball than they have here, and they're going to have to, you know, get a better performance from the man with the basketball. And I'm sure they hope he's learned something, because he didn't learn anything on that play.
Paxson with the steal. Parrish. Ewing the rebound. Ewing with 10 rebounds today. He had 11 in game 1. Wilkins, Knicks leading scorer, has 22. Coming up next, most of you will see Cleveland and Chicago. Some of you will catch the Denver-Seattle matchup. It's Cleveland and Denver. Cleveland and Chicago try to make it 2-0 in their best-of-5 series. Ewing fouls McHale. 5 on Ewing. So Ewing and Wilkins each with...
Knicks now, how many times have they committed bad fouls? I mean, fouls where even if Kevin McHale caught that basketball, he was not in scoring position, and he ends up going to the foul line and scoring 2 points. You have to make them earn it, and the Knicks are not making them earn it at the offensive end of the court for the Celtics.
Ewing short with it, and Parrish clears another rebound. 109-90. Under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th period. Celtics and the Lakers had the best home records in the NBA this year. 36-5. Dennis Johnson hits the basket, and Rick Pitino has been thrown out of the game with a second technical foul. Pitino and Ed Rush going at it, and Pitino's going to take a walk. Ed Rush signaled basket good, and you're out. In one motion, it seemed.
Well, that's frustration, too, with Rick Pitino. You know, he came in here and he wanted to steal the game in the Boston Garden and go back to New York with a chance to win 2 games and, you know, win this series. But things have not worked well for the Knickerbockers. And I think in Rick Pitino's defense, what he needs is a couple more players on this ball club. He needs another guard, and they need a small forward that can score.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Celtics. The Wilkins misses. Bird's long pass to Gilmore.
Well, that tells you something about the Celtics. All of a sudden, Artis Gilmore is out leading the fast breaks.
Sure does. Wilkins over Johnson. And this was the exact score of game number 1, 112-92. This was the final.
But there's one thing I like what Rick Pitino did today, and that is he came out to win this game, not to play a close game, and he knew he had to play havoc with the Celtics offense, and it just has not worked for the Knickerbockers.
McHale with 24 points. So that front line, actually, Bird and McHale, 60 points between them. Kenny Walker foul. And they're going to bring in the subs. Reggie Lewis, the #1 pick out of Northeastern, and hand for Bird, and the rest of the Celtics going to the bench. Points for Larry Bird.
Harris just does whatever is needed from him for the Celtics. That's either scoring, and he always rebounds and plays defense.
Lewis is going to be a fine offensive player. A lot of observers feel. Tipped up by Lojas, I think. Brad Lojas. So the Celtics starters can sit this one out the last 3:08. They'll lead 2-0 going into New York Wednesday night, and we'll try to wrap it up in a sweep in Madison Square Garden. But the New York crowd will be out in force for that. Jackson, foul. Cleveland and Chicago is coming up next in a few moments as Benefield comes in for the Knicks. They're a green team when it comes to playoff experience. Reggie Lewis, 118-95. 23-point lead as the Celtics extend their biggest margin. Inexorably here in this fourth period. Rick Carlisle in there misses. Kenny Walker saved it to Carlisle, former Celtic. Jackson against Lewis. Trying to draw the foul. Nothing there. Lojas. We're winding down to 2 minutes to go. Lojas, good outside touch. And a good shot blocker. I think Lojas and Lewis give the Celtics two outstanding players down the line.
Down the line, and they're their future of the Celtics when this old regime retires.
Under 2 minutes to go. A 6-minute span between the first and second period told the story in this one as Lojas hits again. The Knicks couldn't hit their shots. The Celtics didn't miss. They stretched a 1-point lead to 15, eventually 20. Knicks cut it to 12, and the Celtics went to town from there. A huge feather in their cap.
It is, and it's all going to depend on, I think, the attitude that the Celtics bring to New York. Are they going to come in and just be a little complacent, or are they going to come in and start the game the way they did here today in the second ball game?
Trent Tucker hits his fourth three-point basket of the ball game, and Tucker with 17 off the bench. Wilkins with 24, the top man. Ewing next with 18. Patrick also had 10 rebounds. But basically, when the Knicks needed points, the Celtics cut them out of the play inside.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It was either a turnover or they would, or just hit the three-point shot. Something they would do and just regain that lead.
This is a three, or that was Tony, Cedric Tony. Here comes Benefield for the Celtics, and he scored. Dirk Benefield, whose cousin Frank, defensive back for the Cleveland Browns, so a talented family that is. Carlisle hits the basket, and you think he'd get a bigger cheer from the Boston fans who might remember that he wore the green and white.
No, he wouldn't. You know, he came out before the game to shoot around, and Larry Bird came out with him, and he saw him shooting and said, "Hey, get down to the next basket."
They don't remember, do they? Lewis misses a turnaround. Green the rebound. So the Knicks get into the 100 mark. Tucker. Interesting that the Celtics will play Wednesday night in game number 3. Roberts hits from the corner. Atlanta-Milwaukee series. If that goes the distance, the Celtics could have a long rest till possibly next Tuesday before they get into playoff action again.
You like to have a rest, but that would be a long one. And the problem with it is you just don't know after a long rest how well your team is going to come out without being away from competition. But every step shows a different look. That's the beauty of the playoffs.
Lewis banks it in with 1 second to play. You're right. The next round will be tougher, and the one after that tougher still, and that's it. The Boston Celtics have won it, beating the Knicks 128-102, and have a 2-0 lead in their best-of-5 series.